What's up guys, Vihan here. So for many of us, our professional day is measured by how much we get done. We're often trying to accomplish so much and are so focused on the work that we're doing that there rarely seems to be an opportunity to truly assess whether you're making any improvements. By speeding through the day in order to be productive, you ultimately slow down your improvement rate, which prevents you from functioning at your very best. I struggled with this for a little bit, but that's when I came across the 5-hour rule, which flips this equation on its head by focusing on learning first. The concept is extremely simple and can be traced all the way back to Benjamin Franklin, who was known to constantly set aside time specifically dedicated to learning. Franklin generally did this in the morning, waking up early to read and write. He then established personal goals and tracked his results. Finally, he experimented with his new information and asked reflective questions every day. Franklin's 5-hour rule addresses the very simple idea that over time, the smartest and most successful people are the ones who are constant and deliberate learners. These individuals take 5 hours in a week or an hour a day to improve themselves and expand their knowledge. This has even been endorsed by people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Oprah. A really interesting point to note is that when you follow the 5-hour rule and spend at least an hour a day learning, you tend to accomplish less on that given day. However, in the long run, it will add up and set you apart from your peers who simply work away without seeking improvement. Now, learning comes in many different forms, but it primarily means setting aside time to give your full attention to your own development, without getting distracted by other work. This takes a few different forms, and a mix of these will give you the most well-rounded experience. The first form of this is through reading. As expected, reading is a common habit shared by many successful people and is the most easy and convenient way to learn. Try keeping a book in your bag at all times, just so you have it handy. And if you're anything like me and are an embarrassingly slow reader, try setting yourself up with reading goals each week. You could aim to read a chapter a day or a certain number of books every month. Along with books, blogs, and news sites, I try to absorb knowledge through audiobooks and podcasts. This mostly tends to happen on commutes or before I go to bed. Hey, speaking of reading and learning, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my new weekly newsletter over on vihanchalaya.com, where I share easily digestible weekly tips on productivity and growth. The link for that is in the description below. The second form is reflection. Reflection is a key part of learning, and yes, it can take place while you're looking at your literal reflection in the mirror. Trying to consume too much information without reflecting on it can lead you to feeling overwhelmed and prevent you from picking up new skills. It's important that your reflection time is structured, or you could get distracted while you do it. So try to keep a journal which will allow you to reflect on what you've learned through the reading that you're doing. It will also give you the chance to think about lessons that you've recently learned during work and develop ideas that you have for the future. The third form is experimentation. Experimentation is essential if you want to progress in life and know what works for you. Set aside some time each week to test out new theories or ideas, no matter how crazy they are. Some of the most successful products in the world, like Gmail, have come as a result of experimentation. Innovation never comes from doing the same thing over and over. Even if your experiment fails, you will have learned a valuable lesson that you can take into your future. Look, we're all really busy with our commitments. I am too, but what I found helps me is to integrate this into my day by starting with 20 minutes a day and gradually increasing it to an hour. You can maximize your time by planning out your learning. This allows you to think carefully about what you want to learn and maybe even set goals for what expertise or knowledge you want to gain. You can also maximize your time through deliberate practice. This means doing things like taking time to get honest feedback on your work and practicing specific skills that you want to improve. This is where the experimentation step can prove really useful. Embracing a learning lifestyle means that every time we do a particular task, we get a little better at doing it over time. Focusing on learning reprograms our behaviors so that we can keep improving rather than just plateauing. We often tend to confuse working with learning, and this is how one can end up feeling stuck. And I know it can be hard to allow yourself 5 hours a week for learning, especially when it doesn't come with immediate reward. But you'll thank yourself in the long run. Just try to look beyond your immediate gratification and dedicate time towards becoming the best version of yourself instead. Alrighty guys, that's all for me this week. Thanks so much for watching. Drop a like on this video if you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the newsletter. See you next week.